can tell you is I was blown away by what I saw as just a guest in the lounge, just a guest of being a part of the staff. I can't even imagine the thrills and the chills. It was almost more than I could take. But I got to tell you, I met Bob Scott and I spent some time talking with him. He's an excellent storyteller. I always enjoy a good story. And Bob Doyle, he was there to, if you're sitting around on a Saturday night and you don't know what to do, you might check out the Lounge Show.
It's The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle, two veteran broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk and are somehow able to tolerate each other. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well. Here's Rob and Bob.
Wow, I never have felt so on TV before. For some reason, I felt like, wow, I'm turning on the camera that's on me. And like meant it felt important for a second. It felt like we were really doing something.
Well, we know better than that.
No, it faded like as soon as I saw your face.
It was gone. It was there and gone.
It was like, oh yeah,
it's this show. And then this from a guy who's been in front of a camera now, a webcam. How many years have you been doing? A little bit here, a little bit there for work as well as pleasure, blah, 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 in front of the camera. Yeah, a lot.
It's been a long time since even the Body Changers days, because I did that.
Changers.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I did a lot of video for that too. So
it was Body Changers. He changed his body, boys and girls. Yeah, that's is that you know who that is? That's Charlie Brown's teacher right there. That's who I think you're doing. Yeah. By the way, quick before just
it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Had to get that in. It's the Lounge Show. The lounge is open, and that means
it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
And if you'd like to join us in the lounge, it's just a keyboard away. All you do is you just go up to the thing with all the letters on it, and you tippity tap, tippity tap, tap tap, tippity tap. And somebody's just doing it. Look at that. Somebody just did it. I thought it was Ben. Hi, Ben.
It is Ben.
We are here, okay? And she got him to type. What's up with that?
Well, I think they're doing a whole holiday cheer thing over there at the Osborne House. I think they're embracing.
So we're on the
holidays.
Jumbotron.
Isn't that? I forgot about that until you just mentioned that. That's right. They were in Milwaukee, and we were consumed like fans of a Final Four basketball team gathering in the gym on their campus, even though their team is playing in Utah or Arizona or something. Yeah, and they were consuming the lounge on a Jumbotron TV, just like sporting events is what I'm saying. Yes, listening on their phone. They're on their phone, of course, because kids today, Bob, with the hair and the music.
That means our heads are the size of a. One of these days, I'm going to be ready for that.
Yeah, probably not.
You're probably
But anyway,
right.
The lounge is open, and they apparently when shopping today did all kinds. And when I was listening to the stories, what do we got? We got they went and they bought cookware. So they called today to ask my opinion on what type and.
I see, and that's why they got Calphalon, because you have been a long-time proponent.
I have.
Where's my freaking sponsor bell? Hold on.
Oh, where is yours?
It's right.
Hold it.
Chuck.
Bob is
now,
going
let's just take this again. Let me get my headphones on.
Now
We don't have to do the theme again, but But Ben has to start over. Now hold on. This is awesome.
Poor Bob. Bob can't get control of his wiring.
Boy,
Don't
that's
be
the
a Bob.
gosh darn truth. All right. Now where were we?
I don't know.
I was ringing the bell because Calphalon.
Calphalon. Yeah.
The dishware
They
of
called with all these questions, and honestly, I had very little ability to answer well, I think. Although I have been a Calphalon fan for quite some time. But some of my cookware, as I told Samantha, is stainless steel. A lot of the work I cook with is with stainless. I use the nonstick, the Calphalon, for your basic nonstickage, right? Your eggs.
I know what you're trying to say.
Your French toast.
When you feel like a freaking beginner, if you just don't want to step up like us beginners,
I'll tell you, I've used the stainless steel sauce pans and fried eggs in them, and yes, you can, and you feel like this massive victory, and then you go, why? Why the extra work and the chances of ruining something, which is really easy? You got to have the right temperature, the right amount of shortening, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, nonstick. And I think they got an entire set because, as you know, if you buy them piece at a time, it's much more expensive than
That's
if you
correct.
Get these.
That's not at all cost efficient, boys and girls. That's just for the kids at home listening who are like 11 and 12 years old, and they're just starting to think about their finances.
Well, and this is where they're going to go and learn. Yeah, talk to Bob and I. We're a couple of capitalists. We have really just scorched the earth with our investing prowess and our ability to just rake in the zillions.
Hey, they can learn years worth of mistakes by just talking to us for a few minutes.
That's right. I was telling someone that the other day. There is a difference between
you mentioned me. Wow, that was nice.
No,
that's kind of
no.
What you just
the
said.
point I was making was there's a difference between intelligence and wisdom.
And me? Is that what you're trying to say? What's the freaking deal, man? I thought we were friends.
Well, we're at least.
Well, I can't control your brain.
That's right. I don't know what to do with that. I have no idea what to do with that. All I know is wisdom and intelligence are two different things. Intelligence is he's smart. But wisdom is, he's been around a while.
It comes from experience.
That's it.
That you can't learn from no book.
No, you cannot. You almost sounded like Forrest Gump there. Interesting that we have a new intro. I like
book.
Book. I saw him.
He called you Bob, though, and that was rude. But
I noticed that he called me Bob. Yeah. Bob, the storyteller, and Bob is also here as well.
Everybody, they just discount me constantly. It's like everybody's all about Rob. I get it. I mean, obviously, but still, when the celebs come out there and just basically just sort of half-ass acknowledge
who's the? Oh, you don't know. Why am I asking you? It's a television show. There's a talk show host in Great Britain, Graham something or other, and
Graham Norton. Yes, I see a lot of clips from that show. Yeah.
Okay, and I saw Tom Hanks on there. He must have been shooting Sully at the time because he had the blonde hair and the blonde mustache. Tom Hanks did, but he was telling the story about the young man who played the young Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. And that's
It's wonderful because Zemeckis said, "You're going to have to teach this kid how to talk," and Tom Hanks says, "Why don't we do it the other way around?
Right.
Why don't I just emulate?" And
I'm sure that's one of his big talk show stories, but I've seen that clip of him, and he's been on that show a ton. He's a big Graham Norton regular. I always think about that because all those American actors, if they're on Graham Norton, because I think that's shot out in London, right? I mean, It's in
the UK.
They got to. I mean, that's like I got to go be on a talk show. I got to go fly to freaking London. It's not like I'm going to go hop over to L.A. or jet over to New York. This is a freaking international trip to get on that talk show, and he's going to show an embarrassing picture from your youth.
Yeah, they probably do the whole circuit. And then they'll go to Japan, and so they're promoting a film, I'm sure. And then they just do the rounds on these talk shows.
I guess.
But he tells that, so the story I'm alluding to is where he says, so I went up to, I think the kid's name was Michael, the young boy's name was Michael, and he says, so what does your dad do? And he says, he's in Greece. He makes grease, but I can't even do the Forrest Gump dialect. But he said he ended the thing. His G's would be a hard G, like, wanting, thinking. And then he said, like, what does he make with grease? He goes, lipsticks. And I think lipsticks was very funny as he described this kid's act. And now, apparently, from what I watched, he's all grown up and he's a war hero. He actually served his country and so forth. He served the United States. The young man who played young Forrest Gump.
Wow, just like Forrest Gump. That sounds like a rumor to me.
But Tom Hanks said it on TV.
He's an actor. He reads lines all the time. It's a character he plays, the Tom Hanks character.
Sure.
He's actually played by Denzel Washington. It was a great actor.
You lost me there. How is Tom Hanks played by Denzel Washington?
You're not paying attention.
No,
I'm
not.
Both played pilots.
Oh yes, Sully, and then what was it? Flight. What was the name of that? I didn't enjoy that movie all that much because I was in the throes of abusing lots of chemistry, and so was the main character. And those stories, in those days, I had a difficult time.
I remember.
Wrangling.
I remember you telling me that back at that time.
And it was a good movie. It's a good film. Speaking of Robert Zemeckis, he directed that as well as Forrest Gump. But anyway, it's a good film, but boy, yeah, it just made me feel like there's too close to home. It hit too.
Doesn't
close
end the way
to
you
home.
want it to, does it, Robert?
Boy, it is Breaker Morant, Bob. So there you go. Do you know what I'm showing? Is this in focus? Can we do this in
It's
focus?
an Andes. It's an
It
Andes
is an
mint.
Andes
Yes.
candies. Yes, and I buy them this time of year because
We've got
they
some in the
remind.
freezer right now.
Do you really? Andes
Yeah.
brand?
Because Tracy likes them, and Amber got some for her birthday, or something like that.
Really?
Or maybe they were in that we did Saint Nick this year, December 6th. Did you ever
I
do
don't know
this?
what that is.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
didn't
don't.
either. So Saint Nick Day or whatever is December 6th, and it's
Yeah.
stockings, and they did full on stockings, baby. They don't do anything halfway around here. So it was that, and I think that's where the Andes candies may have been. But she also likes the York peppermint patties.
Peppermint patties, but that I don't associate York with Christmas only, where I do with Andes. And the thing here's an
Oh, I
interesting.
see. I'm
little
more
tidbit.
the other way. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, York is more.
Andy's
of the
more
holiday.
to me is whenever. I never. I
No
don't think
kidding.
about. Yeah, but York, I think more in terms because I only see him in a holiday. I used to get him, I guess, as a Ute.
Which one's Andes or the Yorks?
The Yorks.
Okay.
I
I
just
saw
like
something
the
the
way
other
you
day
said
that
it.
was. I saw something the other day where Randy Cook told me. I didn't see it. He told me this. It was a story. It was a morning show bit they used to do with candy bar names, and then tying them into sex. Because everything works. Morning show bit, sex. Of course, it's like Butterfinger. That was an example he used, and I went, okay, this game can go on. This is an easy game to play.
I don't like Milky Way.
Right. See where you can go, how fast you can go there.
Payday.
Payday. Mounds was one that came up. I remember that. Mounds came up in the conversation, as did Almond Joy. And I just went, oh, this game is a fun game, boys and girls. And I thought, what a great, and it's just reeks of morning show, man. It is a
Three musketeers.
Yeah. So, but he started with Butterfinger.
No, I thought there was none, and then all of a sudden there's
a lot.
supply.
There's a lot. See, I got both Andes and York at Christmas. Oh, Tracy's there.
Went away so fast. Hershey's
Yeah, it
Kisses.
did.
Keep this PJ. Keep this PJ. LOL.
I'm gonna say PG. I think is what. She was
okay.
Probably
Hey, by the way,
we got someone up in the producer's booth who's. We have a compliance department now.
Let's talk about cherry cordial for just a moment.
We can, because we're on the topic of Christmas candy.
Right. And so, Queen Anne, you get it every year, right? And is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
And
in fact, it would have begun about 5 days ago, if it was the way my dad did it, because it was always 12 days before Christmas. So right around the 13th or so, he would bring me home from the candy store in those days, 12 chocolate covered cherries. And he would say, Robert, have one a day and it'll be Christmas. And that was the jam. And now, of course, we get the Queen Anne's or whatever the brand name is.
So the last time we got them, we got like 12 of them or whatever in a box. And they were more of the white, thick.
There are two fillings, Bob. I'll let you know right now. There are definitely two fillings.
Two different.
Yes, you have the creamy, kind of pasty one that you're talking about now, and then there's the more liquid, more water.
Don't they have a kind of a combination?
That I do not know.
Okay, so which one do you like?
Oh, I like the non-cream. I like them both. Right, they're both
the liquidy one,
but the liquidy one is
right.
better.
Right, me too.
Yes.
My memory is that it was
cold,
mostly liquid with some of that cream because I like that cream. Okay, well that's good to know because I thought so my memory was off. Duh.
No.
But in my mind it was like, where's the liquid? Like this is too much of the cream. There's no liquid in here. And then we got into the Saint Nick stocking. It was a different brand, and I'm driving. I can't think of it. It seems like it starts with a C. I remember.
Latbat likes liquid as well, by the way. Right.
So Latbat, do you remember what's the brand name of the other one? Because they had the liquid in there. And then as we were so I cursed something so that Cello. Yeah. I think that's right.
What you say when you answer the phone.
Cello.
Hello. What's your favorite hospital food? Jello.
So I think I got both. In the stocking, there was another little round of the Queen Anne.
By the way, you never finished what the 6th of December is.
Oh, well, okay. So it was I just full on stockings. That's really it. I mean, we did. It was a stockings only sort of deal.
Stockings only. Sorry.
I knew I was going to get
That's
you.
really good. Sorry, Jim Shoe. You can't come into the party. It's stockings only.
Wish I could go back with the replay and look at the look on my face when you jumped in just then, and the look of utter. I know I'm going to lose my train of thought now. And
Did you? It was no Queen Anne.
Oh yeah,
and cello.
And so the cello. I bit into a cello. I bet it. Stop talking. I bit into cello. I bit into the so in the stocking there were cellos and another box of the Queen Anne's. So I said, oh yeah, the cello, and that was the liquidy, and I was like, yeah, that's what I said, and I said something. I said F Queen Anne. This is what I'm looking for. Well, then when I opened the Queen Anne box, they were broken and dried out. So the joke was on me. Queen Anne said, oh yeah.
Wah,
F you too, dude.
Wah, wah, wah.
That's right. So I got, a couple of cellos and cellos. Is it?
Yeah, and
cellos?
then every now and then you can really screw up, and for me anyway, and get dark chocolate.
Oh, I like that. What's wrong with that?
Well, because the original to me in my head is milk chocolate, liquid center. That's the jam. Not that any of the others aren't wonderful, and it still represents my dad bringing them home. And Samantha still carries the burden of making sure I get the chocolate covered cherries every year. She picked up the mantle when my dad passed away. Oh no, actually, when my dad passed, my mom did it for a few years, and then when she passed, Sammy on the spot, she makes sure that we get the chocolate covered cherries every Christmas. It's wonderful.
So are they marked clearly on the box? The difference, like, do you know what you're getting?
Yeah, there's a picture too, Bob. I hate to break this to you.
They were gifts.
Oh, hey, chill there, Pee-wee. Take a lewd, man. I'm just saying.
I don't have any, Rob.
There's a picture usually.
I fed them to the cat.
I fed them to the cat. There's a picture usually, and it'll either have the creamy center picture or the liquidy center picture.
So all this years, I didn't know there were two different kinds. How dare they?
Well, I didn't know what anodized or whatever the word is. See, Sammy told me today about the different surfaces of nonstick cookware. And she goes, do you like the anodized? I'm saying the word wrong.
I think it's anodized.
Probably. I know I'm saying it wrong, but I didn't know. And apparently
it's starting to sound like Terminator right now.
It's a little rough. The texture's a little rough. And that's as opposed to the real slick looking non-stick cookware. So my point is, I also learned something today. You didn't know about the two different kinds. You thought there was something, it went stale or something, or they made them incorrectly.
Yeah, I thought, who's at quality control? I seriously believe I said those words. Like, how did this happen?
How did this sneak through? Was Lucy on the line there? Was she here in Ethel? We're boxing up.
Just sucking out the liquid, putting them back. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there are two different kinds. So there you go. And by the way, a phrase I hope goes away after the new year. I was today years old. I'm done with that one for sure. I just can't do that one anymore at all. And I was today years old when I realized Queen Anne came with two different fillings. I don't want to know that one anymore.
Oh, well, okay. But yeah, that is the perfect opportunity to use it, though.
That's why I thought of it. But I think it's run its course. I think we can come up with something new.
Like Elf on a Shelf. Have you seen this played out on Facebook? The pictorial.
I see a lot of elf type.
They go, you've heard of Elf on a Shelf, and then there's a picture that you have to figure out how they rhyme and go together. Like, they got Dwayne Johnson on a wooden block and a rock on a block, that kind of stuff. So it's all.
I see.
And that has played out, at least in my world, on Facebook.
I have not seen enough.
People are already getting pissed off at people doing that. Yeah.
Well. Send him some chocolate-covered cherries and just chill him the hell out.
Okay.
We love our elf. Jingly. I'm reading Sam's notification here. Apparently, the elf on her shelf is named Jingly.
I think ours does have a name. I can't remember.
Never did that elf never showed up on one shelf in any house I ever was doing. Now, even this one, although as I told you last week, I'm festooned with decorations here. For example, it comes out every year, and I show it on the lounge every year. The Santa Cubs Santa there he is, boys and girls. And this particular Santa was a gift from my neighbor when we lived on Jennifer Lane. Remember that house, Bob?
You know I do.
And he was the one who got picked up by the feds for cocaine trafficking. But before he was arrested,
he handed over. You looked inside
No,
that thing?
right. I know.
So we
No
got a real
wonder Santa's
3 men and a baby situation.
We
Hey, knock
very
on the
well
door. Hey, remember that Santa I gave you? I wonder if I could get that back. It's
Don't have that.
it belonged to my nephew. It's kind of sentimental value.
Yeah, but do you happen to have
Yeah,
it
you can
around?
have it. I already got all the cocaine out of it.
Yeah, I opened him up. No wonder he was smiling all the time. So no, I've never opened him up, but he is my neighbor, the cocaine dealer's gift to me when I lived at Jennifer Lane. It was quite, again, like last week, Bob, you said there's some things that have happened in my life, but the stories, but you pay a price.
There's
If
the
you
balance.
want,
You pay.
there's the bill. There's the deal. So you did the 6th, and now what? What is next? Like, for example, here on this end of the world, Stephen arrives in town this Tuesday. So we're looking, although Samantha and Ben have decided to lasso his ass for the first 2 days. We won't see Stephen until Thursday, probably, because Sam and Ben took the time off. They're picking him up at the airport. He's doing a red eye. He lands here at 6 o'clock Eastern. So what time are you leaving Mountain Time? Like, I can't even do the math. Point is, and then they're just going to lasso him and go out for brunch with, I'm sure, Bloodies or Margarita. And the whole thing is just going to be a Howl at the Moon Fest for probably a good 30 hours. I was listening to them regale me with the plans, and I'm thinking, I remember being that age. I remember.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking.
Yeah.
That. I remember plans like that would be so fun sounding.
Right.
It was like, oh my God, I just want to take a nap listening.
Yeah.
Oh, he can't do that after flying. No, he needs a good nap and he should recover.
Right. And have some saltines, take a good shower, hot cup of coffee, and a hamburger sandwich. Yeah,
Hamburger
that's gonna
sandwich. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember a guy telling me that I need a hot cup of coffee and a hamburger sandwich. I always thought it was a good line.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're going to, right. And I thought about that. I go, I remember Bob and you and I planned things like, and then we'll do this and this. And we've got the whole weekend, like, especially if we had a kitchen pass and we didn't have to answer to anyone, we would just plan to destroy our bodies. That was on purpose. That was the plan.
That's the plan.
Good plan, right?
Yeah. We're going to take our cells and we're going to annihilate them.
Mm-hmm. We're just going to and more.
And then the family's going to come home at 5 o'clock the next morning.
Right.
After driving 13 hours. So you should get to bed at least by 2 a.m. So you get 3 hours of, and you wake up.
Again, and then they're going to have a ball. I do envy that it's going to be fun. They're going to have so much fun.
Yes.
They'll get caught up. They'll tell a million stories. They're going to eat Hot Pockets at 4 a.m. kind of crap. I just love. Yeah.
I can feel it. As you were telling the story, I had all those thoughts. It was like, yeah, I remember when I could do that. Yeah, that's going to be a ton of fun. And I know I need 0 of that.
I can't do that. It's not about needed. I just
not
can't
even
do
just
it.
the alcohol part. It was just like,
I mean, you and I,
fun.
like, I would
No,
drive
that's not
with boys and girls. For those of you who don't know, I would drive like all the way to Bob's house, which is a good 55 miles one way. That's a little bit of a hike with the intent that the keys come out of the car, and that's where that car is staying.
That's correct.
And then we would hop into one of your vehicles and run down to the store and load up for, all the booze and all the bad food.
Cookoutables and desserts and ice creams and chips and whatever
whatever the heck. Pizza rolls and Hot Pockets on Bite Me Night. Yeah, when we do Bite Me Night. But yeah, we would, and it was an event, and we're just gonna like tomorrow the world's gonna explode, so we're going out with a feast
with
and
so much
wine.
beer. Bring all the beer and the wine, and then just mix all that shit together and be fine-ish the next day.
Right.
It got a little. We got a little less fine as time went on. But hey, man, it is something out there. I don't know what the temperature is though.
You don't?
Echo,
Don't
what's
you
the
have it on your
temperature?
computer screen?
58 degrees. No, I told you already. Mine does not have a weather widget.
A weather widget. It's 47 cloudy here in Atlanta.
We got 58 and clear.
Yeah.
So it got a little bit warmer. We had some cold days, and I know we will have more cold days because that's how weather works.
Latbat says it's cold, and she also accompanied the word "cold" with some neat graphics. I'm liking that. She's very good with the.
She's emoji. She's she spends a good bit of time
with the thumbs.
With the, for some reason I held back from saying that. I don't know why. It just didn't feel.
After we've already talked about Butterfinger, I can't believe thumbs
I
threw
know,
you off.
Well, this
That's
seems like
a good game.
This seems like
You're
a good
not
time.
going to. What? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nope.
I'd like to run it back and see my facial expression. Go ahead. What are you going
Nope.
to say?
I'm done. We got 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Fill
we
it.
do. That's long to fill it. Do some
No,
tap
today would have been my dad's 81st birthday.
Okay.
81. So I was thinking about it today, and I thought, well, what what can I do to even just memorialize? So of course I just turned on AI, and I just did a few AI pictures, just AI pictures of him eating cake, So, I
like that one.
This is what it might be like if he were here with. And then of course, then I just went weird. I put him, and he would love this stuff. He would love all this crazy stuff. So a mushroom forest, and then we start bringing in the turtles because he was a big fan of turtles. Until the turtles are all over the place, and turtle candle, and it just
I like that one.
Totally wacky and crazy. And then that's how it ended out. But anyway, so happy would have been 81st birthday. You got 80. That's pretty good.
No, it is. And in fact, I, every Christmas, as we discussed last week, have just a little piece of your pop here. The Christmas tree stand.
That's right.
Is your dad's. And I love that. And by the way, it's not just for those of you keeping score at home. It's not just for the nostalgia and the emotional value of having that. It also is a much better stand than I had previously. I've upgraded its style, its complexities, and its the look. I cleaned it up, and it has that old fashioned green and red metal with it's a grand
metal. That's some classic Rob Scott right there, ladies and gentlemen. Metal, butter. That's really the king daddy of them all. But
yeah. Butter and water too. I'll say water, and you'll jump my crap.
Water bottle.
Because
water
there's
bottle
a T in
that
the
he
word.
just got
Water bottle. And Dave Endy on the way home from Water Street, I would pay a dime for a can of water instead of a quarter for a soda. He said that we were all just massively messed up, stumbling home from the street of bars there at campus. And we went up to a soda machine to just quench, like get grape or orange or whatever. And Lloyd Endy said, if I would love it, just a dime instead of a quarter for a can of water. I really could go for some. And we all laughed and laughed. Who would buy
purchasing water? That's insanity.
So what are you? How
That's how they talk
you?
up there, right? I'm trying to get that Midwestern accent.
You sound okay. If I close my eyes, I'm in Eau Claire. I swear to God.
Funnier than mine. We still got 3 minutes. We can't end on that.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
That would be bad form.
2 minutes left. Okay, well, speaking of the holiday, because I've got all my little holiday nuggets.
That sounds like a medical problem. Speaking of medical problems, I got a sick house over here. Tracy's been sick for like a week and a half.
And I just heard an ambulance drive by.
That's how she goes to totes herself around now. Is ambulance up and down the stairs. No, she got like a sore throat thing from I don't know, Amber. One of them got sick, and now it's like we think it might be bronchitis or some crap. Like it's really
there is crap all over. Seriously, no joke. There's crap all over. They were sick over at Sammy and Ben's for a while, 100 and something temperatures, and all just. In fact, this is another reason I go, wow, you're supposed to be young when you're raising a family. So she calls and tells me the story. She goes, it started, we all got sick. And the first thing that happened on the morning of finding out that many of them are just going to feel crappy is the dog jumped up in the bed while they were sleeping and crapped in the bed. That's how you woke up. You wake up to dog poop and a sick child. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I forgot that's how.
No, isn't it true though? I hear like when my daughters would say things, I'm like, oh, I couldn't handle it. But I guess I did, right? We all did.
Well, they didn't
we
die.
all did.
They're all right. They're still with us. The kids didn't die. But my gosh, how did I do that?
But like the trips, the trips where there's always a trip where just every freaking thing goes wrong. It's just like doomed from the beginning. It's just a nightmare trip that you talk about, and you got probably 3 at least of those before the kids move out, where it just went wrong.
And everything on top, one after another, on top of another.
A flat tire, and then the credit card doesn't work, and then and then you just get back on the road, and then it's another tire. I had real life stuff like that. It is a little true real.
It's Parenthood. It's the movie Parenthood. That's how Ron Howard came up with the idea. He was flying with his crew to film a movie in South America, and he had his twins. And first of all, he tells the crew, no carry-on. We need all the carry-on for diaper bags because they're going to be like in the air for 20 hours. And then one of the kids threw up on him like an hour into the flight. He just had puke all over him, and he's trying to clean up in the back. And then when they got there, the carousel of luggage is all strollers and just bullshit. And that's Parenthood. And then he wrote the movie. That's where that came from.
Well, I think your grandmother's brilliant.
Why is she sitting in the neighbor's car?
And with those words, those were the words they chose. I kid you not. Those were the words. So when those words came out, they decided that's when they were going to end the show. They could have done, I don't know, countless other things, but they chose that sequence of words to end it. And this is how we're left with the show. I don't get it. I don't think I can watch anymore.
You've been watching The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and tell your friends and family to do the same. After all, we'd do it for you if you had a show. Probably.
Hi, Pop. Happy birthday,